Okay,
I
State
got
v.
this,
Blondie Lee,
but yeah,
case number
somebody else.
21598 on the
here
criminal
we go.
docket. I'm going to start by reading the statement of charges, and then we'll move to pre-trial motions.
Okay, all right. You just handled it.
On 3rd July 2024, Dr. Nashoba Redwood got into a tattoo Blondie Lee from the hospital with the aim of getting some
That
food.
one.
This is the last time he was seen alive.
Prejudice
Shortly after he left with
Shit
Miss
like that.
Lee, he was found dead, having been brutally attacked
facts and
by
evidence.
Blondie Lee.
Nothing pending.
Dr. Redwood had his kidney cut out and wound poorly stitched together, and a shoe print on his throat. This is the modus operandi of Miss Lee. The only difference this time is she managed to kill her victim. All right. State is recommending for sentencing 20 years incarceration, 15 years parole, and a $100,000 fine. As the defendant is being charged with 2 felony A offenses, both of which are capital level offenses. This court may institute the death penalty. So hey, serious court case, guys. Try not to fuck around.
What?
Don't forget.
Just
be really careful when you're.
Blondie Lee's life
Sorry.
on the line here, and this court will not take into praise words any malarkey. It is literally one chance, and you will get contempt of court. Okay, everybody happy?
Aye, Captain.
All right. Pre-trial motion starting with the state.
Yes, Your Honor. Could we have a sidebar first before we start that?
Sidebar 1, sure.
Thank you.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Good day. Make sure they're washed?
Yeah. No, this is how. And fucking Easton over there taunting me.
What's wrong with what? Have you never showered with
Fuck
a man
Easton.
Yeah, I know. Fuck Easton. He's sending me
Gotta be
kitty
good.
pictures.
Kitty pictures.
Yeah. Hashtag free Blondie.
Oh, is there one going?
Yeah.
Love you, Blondie.
I love ya.
Blondie, don't run or they'll kill you.
Okay, got it.
What did he say? Don't run or they'll kill you?
That's what he said.
Yeah, don't pull in anything funny, girls, or they will chop Blondie's head off and let the crows eat it.
What the fuck?
What are you talking about?
All right, sidebar 1 done. Can we go to pre-trial motions again? State, any
Don't
pre-trial
worry, because
motions?
you were such a good girl, staying out of trouble for this entire thing.
Honestly,
does a judge get?
We got
in
an
line with your
argument
parole
to make.
conditions, I'm going to be frisking you before this,
One
okay?
moment, Your Honor.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
All right, just face away from me, thank you.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Honestly, no, we have no pretrial.
All right, no worries, thank you.
How's
Yeah.
your-
All right, Franklin, you got anything?
Motion to
Constantine?
dismiss all charges, Your Honor.
Old strategy. Let's see how this plays out. Why?
Because she didn't do it, Your Honor. My client, innocent.
Yeah.
Big motion to dismiss. Any rebuttal from the state?
Yes,
Please say
Your
that, please
Honor.
say- Shit.
What's your rebuttal?
The rebuttal is we have plenty of proof that she did do it.
Oh, damn.
Oh my
there
god.
goes the whole
Okay, I guess
plan.
we'll have to try. Motion
She
to dismiss
did
is
that, yeah.
denied.
At least she considered it.
Yeah, I did. I may be a cunt, but I'm least unfair. Any other pre-trial motions?
Damn.
No, Your Honor.
All right. Blondie, arraignment time. You're already standing up. You're being charged with... You have 2 charges. You're going to enter a plea of either guilty or not guilty or no contest. Murder of a government employee times 1.
Definitely not guilty.
Definitely not guilty.
Definitely not guilty. Okay. Mayhem major times 1.
Super not guilty.
Super not guilty.
Super not guilty. All right.
Queen. Yeah.
Defendant Lee has pled definitely not guilty to murder of an employee and super not guilty to mayhem major.
up?
You need to
All
go
right,
see
let's
your
move forward with opening statements starting with State of San Andreas.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
July 3rd, Dr.
back
Redwood
down.
met his
Sit back down.
untimely death. Death at the hand of the state believes is sitting in the defendant's chair, Miss Blondie Lee. He didn't die from a bullet wound. Savagely, a knife was wrenched into his gut and his kidney was removed, and he was left to suffer as he slowly bled out and died. Now, defense may have you believe that maybe Blondie was out gallivanting with Jessica Bird, or that there is no possible way that she was at the location the doctor was found, that anyone could have done this at ammunition. There are many issues with that, but one in particular. There have been other instances with the same MO. Miss Blondie Lee has 2 charges of mayhem minor, another charge of attempted murder, in which the judge said, and I quote, "A more fitting charge would have been mayhem minor." Today, we bring you the stories of not 1, 2, or 3 individuals who have been gutted by Miss Blondie Lee, but at the least 5 people that have all been left with missing kidneys with the same MO. Today, we will show you motive, opportunity, and means. We are here today to prove that Miss
Burgers, hi.
Blondie Lee did indeed murder Dr. Redwood, and that due to the amount of time she has been previously charged and found guilty for the same MO, believe that this also certainly qualifies as mayhem major.
Your Honor, esteemed members of the court, today we stand at a crossroad between speculation and facts. Prosecution will attempt to paint my client, Blondie Lee, as a ruthless killer, but have built their case upon assumptions and circumstantial events. Blondie Lee is an individual who is known for her troubled past, but a troubled past cannot infer or define present actions, nor can it be considered indicative of future guilt. On the day in question, my client performed in her normal duties as a taxi driver and picked Dr. Redwood up, providing him with a ride to a location of his choosing. There is no evidence of an altercation, past history, threats, or violent actions taken by my client against Dr. Redwood on the day in question or any day forthright. Prosecution will try to convince you otherwise, but they lack the necessary proof required to reach the burden to convict my client Blondie for a crime as serious as capital murder. There are no witnesses to this crime, no DNA evidence linking my client Blondie Lee to the scene in question, no murder weapon found, and no reliable forensic evidence. This case against her hinges solely on her history and not on solid facts. Furthermore, we will present evidence that Blondie Lee has been the target of malicious individuals who have attempted to frame her for crimes. Though, the burden of proof lies with the prosecution, and they must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that my client Blondie Lee committed this crime. We believe that after hearing the evidence put forth today, you will see that there is no such proof provided. Thank you for your time and your due consideration in these matters.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Dupont. With that, we shall move to prosecution. You can either call a witness or highlight evidence.
I'd like to maybe highlight evidence at the end.
Sure. I mean,
Okay.
it's up to
Call
you.
witness. I'd like to call Dr. Gemma to the stand.
All right, doing great. All right, raise your hand. Oh, never mind. You're going to reposition yourself.
I can do it. I can do it. I can't do
Can
it.
you?
Oh, there we go.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, under the pains and penalties of perjury. So help you. Attack on coffee.
I do.
All right, state your witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Could you please state your full name for us here today?
Dr. Randall Luca Gemma.
Thank you, Dr. Gemma. And what is your profession?
I am the chief of medicine with SAMA.
And could you give us a list of your specialties and certifications in the medical profession?
I have bachelor's degrees in biology and chemistry. I got my medical degree from the Columbia University Vagelos College of Physicians and Surgeons. I am a American Board of Allergy and Immunology certified immunologist, and American Board of Medical Laboratory Immunology certified laboratory immunologist.
God damn.
I have a PhD in experimental medicine and implant development. I am a transplant specialist and a founder and member of the SAMA Transplant Committee. I have certifications with the Association of Clinical Research Professionals in Principal Investigation for Medical Trials and Medical Device Professional, and I am certified by the Nuclear Regulatory Commission in Radioactive Materials Handling.
Thank you. And so in medical school, do you as a doctor gets training in regards to dealing with pain medication and pain of the patients?
We do, yes.
And have you ever had to remove a kidney from a patient due to a medical condition?
I have, yes.
Okay. And how many kidney removals have you had to do?
5 doubles and 1 from injury, so 11 total.
Okay. And how many of you had to reattach in surgery?
Just the 1.
Okay. And could you explain the process in layman's terms for us here today?
It's a very invasive procedure. The entire process is pretty tightly regulated across the entire board, from procurement to the surgery itself. But as to regards to the surgery, in layman's terms, you would make an incision on the abdomen. You would locate the arteries and veins connecting to the kidney, isolate them and disconnect them. You would do the same for the ureter. Make sure you've disconnected any other fascia, which is connective tissue, from the kidney, and then remove it from the body.
Yep, that's right.
And could you explain, in layman's terms, any potential complications if this was done by someone who's not a professional in the field?
Assuming they don't die very rapidly from blood loss, you're looking at infection, potentially short-term and long-term.
And could you describe to the court today in layman's terms what kind of complications a person could have throughout their lives if a kidney that was removed in the way these kidneys were removed was reattached even by a professional?
I'm gonna object to relevance here, Your Honor. And I'll follow that up with the guy's dead. He probably won't have any complications due to his lack of a kidney.
Oh my. Okay. Rebuttal. Stay.
Yes, we have multiple. We're also looking at major mayhem. So we're talking about multiple issues in where these people did survive.
Can I counter rebuttal, Your Honor, please?
I'll allow you to respond.
Being that the gentleman is dead, we are attacking major mayhem at its roots due to the fact that he will experience none of these pains or discomforts or really anything ever again.
I'm looking at this Mayhem Major report that's been entered, 22458. I see 5 incidents that I guess the state will be bringing up through the course of this trial. One of them being the victim for the murder, so Dr. Nishiba Redwood, but there's also 4 others. I'm going to assume they survived. So I'm going to say, yeah, relevant, overruled.
I tried. Thank you, Your Honor.
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. Could you describe to the court today in layman's terms what kind of complications a person could have throughout their lives if a kidney that was removed in the way that these kidneys were removed was reattached even by a professional?
Yeah, so, and again, in the short term, you're looking at infection, both from the immediate surgery and slightly longer term from urine and urinary tract infections, which can occur over 3 to 6 months on average. Longer term, you are looking at a potential hernia risk due to the scar tissue at the surgery site, potential narrowing of the blood vessels leading to the artery due to the surgery, which can restrict blood flow, causing kidney function problems, and a similar narrowing of the ureter, which in layman's terms causes the urine to back up and stop everything working properly.
Thank you. And in your experience with this type of surgery, could you give us here an idea of the kind of pain your patients had post-op when they had pain meds to deal with the pain?
Yeah, a recent transplant, kidney transplant patient of mine woke up and expressed a 8 out of 10 on the pain scale. The pain scale is how we typically measure pain. It ranges from 1 being low, like minor headache, bumped elbow or whatever, up to your kind of middle, like you've been, kicked in the genitals, all the way up to, horrific wounds, gunshots, stabbings, at a 10, like we describe that as worst pain imaginable.
Okay. And as an expert in the field, could you tell us where on that scale that a person who would have had their kidneys removed while awake would be at throughout the whole process if they remained awake through it?
That would be a 10.
And can you describe the long?
Never mind. Fuck it.
Can you describe the long-term mental impact a person might experience after going kidney removal like this?
I'm gonna object to this. We did not establish Gemma as an expert witness in psychology. Call us for a something something.
You know what? I'm gonna just overrule it based on question 2, where he spent like a minute listing all his specialties and certifications that ITLDR has so many fucking certifications and specialties. I can't be able to write it down. He's so fucking smart.
Then I would request the honor take it into consideration when deliberating.
I will. Overruled.
Do you need me to repeat the question?
Please do, yeah.
Can you describe the long-term mental impact a person might experience after going through a kidney removal that was done in the way that it was done?
You're looking at trauma related potentially to locations, people, vehicles, depending on the situation in which it occurred, possibly sound triggers, PTSD, almost certainly, which is typified by flashbacks, nightmares, anxiety, things like that.
Okay, thank you. State has no further questions at this time.
Okay, cross-examination.
Hello, Dr. Gemma.
Hi, Franklin.
First question is, how do you find the time to be here when you are so busy up in the guts of citizens of Los Santos?
Well, you know, you gotta make time for important stuff.
Fair. Were there any injuries that Redwood sustained, to your knowledge, that would suggest he was attacked at the scene and not elsewhere?
Objection,
not-
Your Honor.
What's the objection?
Speculation.
Oh, easy rebuttal.
Go on.
It's not asking him to speculate. It's asking for direct evidence of anything on the body indicating the location and the possibility of where he was killed, i.e. seaweed in the hair, i.e., I don't know, dirt from Polito, etc.
May I respond to that?
Sure.
Yeah, he was not the one that did the autopsy. He wasn't at the scene of the crime, so he would have no knowledge of that.
And double rebuttal, Your Honor, if I may.
I don't need it. Hey, Dr. Gemma, have you read through this case or anything about it?
I have, yes.
You read through like the autopsy report and stuff like that?
I have.
Alrighty. I'm gonna overrule it because I want to hear the answer. You can repeat the question, Councillor DuPont.
Dr. Gemma, was there anything on the body, whether injury or items, that would indicate that Redwood sustained these injuries at the scene in question and not elsewhere?
Sorry, could you re-ask that?
Yeah, I got you. Was there anything on Dr. Redwood's body indicating that he was killed on scene and not elsewhere?
Not as far as I'm aware, no.
Thank you. Can kidneys be transplanted?
They can.
Can patients use medication to treat the symptoms of, quote, loss of kidney?
It depends on the specific symptoms or issues arising from a loss of kidney.
Let's just talk in terms of physical.
Again, that would depend on the specific issues at hand. There's not a, fix missing kidney pill.
Can the patient who has lost a kidney recover fully once that kidney has been transplanted?
Possibly.
Okay, no further questions for this witness. Unless, hold on, one moment to confer.
Natalie texted you some questions.
All right, hold on. Is there any way to survive without one kidney?
Are you asking? I'm unclear on the question.
Can
You
a,
cannot
can a
live without any kidneys, no.
Okay, how many kidneys are in a human body, Dr. Gemma?
2.
And can a person live a normal, comfortable life with one kidney?
Potentially, yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. No further questions for this witness. I don't know about those questions, Nat.
Redirect.
Yes, Your Honor, I have one question. Dr. Gemma, you just said that a patient could recover fully from a kidney
Why'd you point it out
transplant,
to me?
correct?
Potentially, yes.
And what would be the chance of a person recovering from it in the manner in which the kidneys were removed from these victims?
I'm going to object to speculation. Previously, on a question about how this might be mitigated and treated, it was dependent upon the situation, and I'm going to, object to speculation on the same ground.
I'll hear a rebuttal.
He is an expert witness in this kind of surgery.
I'm gonna hear it. I'm gonna overrule it. Can you restate the question?
Yes. Again, you said the patient could recover fully from a kidney transplant, but what would be the chance of a person recovering from it in the means in which the kidneys were removed from these victims?
That would depend on the quality of the incisions made through the arteries and ureter, if there's any damage done to the surrounding tissue, how long the person was left in the de-kidneyed state they were left in before receiving medical treatment. Odds of a full recovery in that state are much lower than if it was done in a controlled environment.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Gemma. You may step down. Defense, are you marking minutes for recall?
No, Your Honor. Dr. Gemma can go continue saving people's lives, including mine.
Yeah, you do that, Dr. Gemma.
Well, that should probably stick around for a little bit, but thank you.
No problem. Next.
Yes, state would like to call Veronica Veronica Wilson.
Veronica Whitner. All right, come on, Corporal. All right, state your witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Could you state your full name and rank for us today?
Veronica Wilson. I am a detective in the Los Santos Sheriff Department.
Thank you. And Veronica, how long have you been a detective in the police force?
Month are we in? August. I believe about 4 or 5 months.
Okay. And about how many cases have you worked on with the force?
I've done about 45 investigations outside of regular police work.
All right. And when was your attention brought to the murder of Dr. Redwood?
The evening of July 3rd, I believe.
Okay. And when you found out about this, how was it brought to your attention? Yeah.
I believe someone made me aware that there was a homicide that they had responded to earlier and made a report about. I, looked at the report, read it, and went from there.
Okay. And what kinds of injuries were found on Dr. Redwood in the report?
From what I could see on the autopsy, when I read it, that he had a shoe print on his throat, cuts on his torso, his abdomen.
Okay, I'm going to object to this with prejudice language. He's saying she, implying my client did that. That's what we're here to clarify today.
From what I wrote is, from what I could see on the autopsy when I read it, he had a shoe print, not a shoe.
Oh, no, not a she print. She said she had stepped on his neck specifically. I would prefer if we use language as in the victim had experienced.
I don't have that written down, Chancellor DePont.
If that's not been said, then withdrawn and go ahead.
All right, you can start from the top.
All right, so the injuries I saw listed on the autopsy were a small shoe print on the throat, cuts on the torso, poorly stitched abdomen, defensive wounds on his arms, in the form of cuts and bruises, and a missing kidney.
Okay. And what steps did you take to gather information about the person Dr. Redwood called for a taxi?
I saw in the report that there was a witness statement from the EMS who had not only responded at the scene, but I was the last person to see him at the hospital. So I did what I always do, is I subpoena the victim's phone and bank records to determine their activities that they took prior to their death. I found in that subpoena a phone call to Blondie Lee. I then subpoenaed her phone.
Never mind. Which on? Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, I subpoenaed her phone and bank records. And found that she had purchased a knife and ammunition around the time of the doctor's.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to object to nothing pending here. She asked about the procedures of her investigation, not the contents within the subpoena.
How about, what going? I mean, here's the thing. she's going to say all of this anyway. Can we just let her get it all out of the way and move this along, Counselor?
I could if this weren't a murder case, but I kind of want to be a stickler here. If they'd like to cover that later, you know, they're welcome to do so, Your Honor.
All right. I guess, Corporal, answer the question without going into deep. How do I explain it? What steps did you take to gather information? I guess state what steps you made, and if the state wants to ask you a further question of any evidence that is found, they can do so.
All right. Steps I took were to do a subpoena of the victim's bank and phone records.
Thank you. And, Your Honor, I'd like to bring notice to the subpoena of Dr. Redwood's phone records. There's a photo of report 20122, image Redwood call to Blondie for taxi ride.
Okay, slow down, save report number.
20122.
All right, got that one.
And it's Redwood call to Blondie for taxi ride.
This one.
I believe so. It's hard to see, but yeah.
Question from the bench. I get what time's in all of these? Because God, there's gonna be a bunch of subpoenas, right?
Eastern Daylight Time.
All right.
UTC -4.
I gotta do math. All
Oh my
right.
goodness.
Oh my God! Again?
Oh my
What?
God.
Twice?
What the hell?
Your Honor, I'm willing to
I think
forgive
you need
her,
to
but
take a
3
bath.
times. What the?
Prosecutorial misconduct.
I'm so sorry.
Not a good look. All right, let's carry on.
All right. So at what time did the call take place?
1:15 p.m. on July 3rd.
Okay. And at this point, what was the direction you took to gain more evidence?
I then did a subpoena for Blondie's bank records, phone and bank records.
Okay. And what did you find in Blondie's bank record?
She purchased an item for $56, basically $50 plus $6 tax at ammunition at 1:29 Eastern Daylight Time.
Okay. And Your Honor, I'd like to enter photo of report. It's the same report number 20122. And it's image Blondie Lee purchases around the time of homicide.
Same report, right?
Yes, it's the same report number. And it's Blondie Lee purchases.
It's on the board.
Okay, thank you. Now, from the time of the murder, how long did it take the police to get Blondie Lee into custody?
I activated the warrant for Blondie Lee on July 17th and arrested her that same day.
Okay, and were you able to question her while she was in custody?
Yes, I was.
Okay, and Your Honor, if you could refer to evidence Blondie Lee interrogation videos and transcript 22453.
There's a transcript. Thank fuck. All right. I still got PTSD from the other day where I had to watch an hour's worth of thing. All right, thank you.
I'm just making note of it as to that it's in evidence and it's easier for you to find.
Yeah, all right.
Okay. Now, in the interrogation, what did Blondie say? What specific information did you get?
Yo, Roos.
I got that she was starting a new gang called the Bad Bitches Club that she had 4 members of. You know, asked her about how the requirements, because on the directory ad I had seen you need to be a psychopath to join, but she said that wasn't really a requirement. You just had to be a badass bitch. Found out she owned multiple cars. 3 or 4 of them were pink.
We got the BBC.
She advertised free taxi rides. We usually do it for like small chunks of a time.
Did I snore?
And
Yeah, real loudly.
claimed not to recall any information, any specifics about the event, and didn't answer any further questions after related to that.
And Blondie Lee was offered bail conditions, and were there any special conditions listed for the bail?
They were advanced felony A bail conditions, which was like daily check-ins with, I believe, DOC, subject to search or frisk and bank and phone records without probable cause.
Okay. And do you recall how many times we subpoenaed Blondie Lee's phone records?
I believe a total of 4 times. 3 are in evidence. The last one was we're just continuing to monitor. That was after discovery closed.
Blondie's
Okay.
murder trial. or
And
that
did
doctor
you
she killed.
ever see Blondie Lee posting on Twinsta?
I'm going to object to vague. Everyone sees these Twinsta posts.
Okay.
I guess you can specify sustain.
Okay. Veronica, and Your Honor, if you could, I would like to refer to incident 20122 again. Neshoba Redwood homicide, images 6 through 9.
Why?
These are also listed. Yeah, it's an easy timeline there, so you can see. If
Wait,
you want to
what?
put one of those
No, you
up
want
there.
the photos for case files.
Yeah,
Or photos for court, not the two.
right. 20122.
Okay, wait. Which photos? 6 through 9.
6 through 9.
All right. I'm putting up number 6.
And Veronica, could you read from some of those posts
Jeez.
and tell me where they're from, where you got those from?
Yes. This says, don't fuck with the stab queen. Hashtag hot girl
Can I
crimes. Hashtag
object
stem
to
to stab.
non-response? Was the question not where did you get these from, not what do they say? Or am I just super cooked, Your Honor?
I think he's cooked.
I swear she said, what did she say? That's what I got written down.
Okay, I may just be cooked. My ears haven't popped yet, Your Honor. My apologies.
Grogu. What is the problem?
I mean, continue reading.
Withdrawn.
All right.
All right. Hashtag hot girl crimes. Hashtag down to stab. That was posted on June 21st. About 2 weeks before the murder.
Okay, and
And there's blood.
so we're aware that there are multiple photos in evidence, as I just pointed out to Your Honor. So we do have multiple photos and multiple things that state that with these particular statements. Now, Veronica, has Blondie Lee ever been arrested and convicted before for stabbing and removing kidneys?
Yes.
And are you aware of how many incidents that have been reported that involve people having their kidneys removed in the city?
I believe I'm aware of 6 total.
Okay. And over how many months has this been going on?
The first reported one was in January.
Okay. And who was the first person found with a kidney missing that you are aware of?
It was Pete Parkinson,
Okay. And do you know when this occurred?
January 6th.
I remember that guy.
I have no further questions.
Hey, cross-examination.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Miss Wilson, was there any blood on scene matching my client, Blondie Lee?
No DNA from your client was found on scene.
And yet you testified here in court today that there were defensive wounds on the arms of Redwood. Is that correct?
Yes.
Was there any DNA evidence on scene that belonged to my client at all?
And I just answered that question.
No, you answered about blood. I have to specify, but I don't want to because it's gross.
Okay, the answer would be no.
Were there any footprints on scene collected and matched to my client, Blondie
My
Lee?
dogs are driving me crazy right now.
No, not that we could see.
And is it true that the alleged murder weapon was never found? Can you confirm that my client, Blondie Lee, was eventually arrested for this scene in question?
Yes.
And did my client have a knife on her person?
Yes.
Please, if you need time to check.
Yeah, let me double check. Pretty sure she was. Yeah, she had a knife on her at that time.
Did you recover any DNA from that knife?
No.
Are you aware of any previous incidents in which my client, Blondie Lee, was framed for crimes she did not commit?
She wasn't charged or there was something that happened after she was arrested for this crime where someone tried to plant some stuff on her. She was not actually framed for anything though.
And are you referring to report, one moment, 21491 Blondie Lee attempted execution?
Yes.
Thank you. Did anyone witness my client, Blondie Lee, on scene of where Redwood was found?
Not that we are aware of.
And would you say Blondie is a recognizable character?
Yes.
In regards to the purchase made at ammunition, does it specify which ammunition this was purchased at?
No.
Does it specify what it was that was purchased?
No.
And specifically, how much sooner was this purchase made before Blondie Lee was witnessed picking up Redwood?
This was made approximately 15 minutes after a phone call, which there's some information I don't have from the witness that was deposed the other day about how long it took from.
Perfectly fine. I would just note.
I can
yes.
reference that.
Oh my god.
Please, yes.
All my animals are just trying to sabotage me
Penelope
today.
Gaspar. I'm looking here. Saw Redwood prior and what are you looking for again?
How long after the phone call was he picked up from the hospital?
No. How long from the phone call was the purchase at the ammunition?
Okay, it's not quite what was asked, but that would be about, I believe, 15 minutes.
Let's see. When was this purchase made before Blondie Lee was witnessed picking up Redwood? Yeah, that was asked. That was a question asked by Councillor DuPont.
And I believe your answer was 14 to 15 minutes.
After she picked him up, not beforehand.
Okay, I would just hope that Your Honor will delegate through these details to get a more accurate summation. Otherwise,
Oh, I will.
No
I'll
further
look
questions.
at every single exhibit of evidence.
Wait, hold on, gotta
There's so
confirm.
many. There's so many. I'll look through them.
all good? Pretty much covered it? Yeah. No further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
All right, redirect.
See what I
Thank you,
texted
Your
you?
Honor. So, Franklin brought up the report 21491.
You see my text?
Veronica, are you aware of this report?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And could you please, if you open up the report, if you don't mind, Judge,
It's not going to make much of a
where
difference.
Blondie Lee's testimony is, could you read the, well, just in your, after reading that to your conclusion, I'm thinking here, give me a moment. First off, how long after was this done from the time that the incident of the death of Dr. Redwood happened?
14 days, 2 weeks.
Okay, and then at what time was this done to Blondie?
This was done after she was released from prison to begin her bail.
Have you committed
Okay,
any
and was
crimes
there
since under
any
bail?
mention in
what?
this statement by Blondie
Have you
that
done any
they
crimes
had
since being on
told
bail?
her They had previously set her up?
No.
And from what her statement states, could you tell us what what they actually said to her?
Yeah, her statement says, "A friend of yours screwed me over and shot me, so we are going to plant illegal things on you and shoot you. And when you get caught, you're going back to jail since you can't identify us."
Thank you. That's all. No more questions, Your Honor.
It's a pretty funny statement.
Corporal Wilson, you may step down. Defense, a much one is a recall.
Yeah, we're gonna mark Miss Wilson for recall.
All right. You may step down, but you can't leave. You probably weren't going to anyway.
Correct.
State, I believe that is your final witness because
Yes, Your
EMT
Honor.
Gaspar was proposed? Do you want to highlight evidence?
Do you want me to do it now or right before closing?
It is completely up to you. You can highlight it now. You can highlight it during closing. Whichever
I'd like to
suits
highlight
you.
it in closing, yeah.
All right. Does the state rest?
Yes, the state rests, Your Honor.
All right.
Rest.
We're gonna move to the defense. We're gonna place this court in recess. Top of the hour, we shall move to the defense and they can call witnesses. Until then, we're in recess. Bangs gavel real.
Hey, I think you're doing pretty good.
Sorry. Yes, sir.
Hey, you're doing pretty good, yeah.
Yeah.
All we heard here was you had a knife, you bought a knife, and you
Yeah.
gave a guy a taxi ride.
Yep, that's it. That's all.
Is that it? Is that why you got arrested?
Yeah.
I've got a quick question for you.
Yeah.
Over here. Over here.
Because it's my MO to remove kidneys, you know, it's like, oh, well, it must be Blondie.
Everything's gonna be good, babes. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Yeah. Damn it, Easton calling me now.
Oh my God, it's Johnny.
What?
Hey, you're actually doing great, and I think I'm back
Yeah?
on your side.
Really?
Yeah, really. I think I'm back to being your #1 fan.
Oh, okay. All right. Welcome back to Team Blondie.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay.
I will
Love you, Blondie.
I love you. You should come sit on my side.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Well, there's a lot of people over there. I've been like talking, and I don't want to be rude to people, so I may stay over here. But just know, in spirit, I'm over on your side.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Toodles.
All right, court is back in session. State v. Blondie Lee. We finished all the testimony from the states they have rested. We move forward to the defense. Defense, you can either call a witness. You've got Jessica
Blondie
Bird.
would
You've got Paul
never.
Wilson, who you have multiple recall. You can call the defendant if they wish to waive the Article 5 rights against self-incrimination. Or you can highlight evidence. Who's in your court?
I will highlight in closing.
All right.
And for now, we will call Jessica Bird, the Salem witch, to the witness stand.
Which you saying?
Yeah.
I'm not a witch. That's illegal.
Isn't that illegal?
Shouldn't be.
Let's not cop so it doesn't want. Alrighty.
Wait, do you have an issue with Judge Fitzpatrick's witchery law there, Franklin?
You're goddamn right I do. We
I'm
stand
going to throw a
witches.
shoe at you.
Jeez.
But also, you're not wrong.
Hey, isn't being a witch illegal?
I've been dressing up in black. I've been dressing in all black since the witchcraft law got added. All right, raise your hand. You want to just sit on the chair like a normal human? Not on the floor.
I'm having trouble with it.
Take a seat. This is the best part of the trial. Whenever people struggle to take a seat in the chair. Sure.
This cool. We're chilling.
Alright, raise your hand.
Raise.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury? So help you. I don't
Hekati.
know, Sean.
I swear.
Good. Alright, state your witness. Not state, defense. Sorry. Yeah, defense your witness.
Miss Bird, yes or no? Did you have any interactions with my client Blondie Lee on the day in question?
Yes.
And where did this interaction take place?
PDM.
Absolutely.
Yes or
left.
no? Did you witness her arrive at PDM?
Yes.
Was she with anybody?
Radio check.
She
Alright.
dropped some guy off. Yeah, there was some dude in the car.
A car. What kind of car was she driving?
I'm not good with models, but it was a pink one. And no roof.
I see. Who? So, never mind. We'll skip that. Yes or no? No, we'll skip that. You pretty much covered it. Were there any other individuals around who could have witnessed this drop off besides yourself?
There was some people in PDM, yeah.
How many people, approximately, to the best of your knowledge?
Approximately, maybe 2, 3, 2.
Did you describe these individuals?
Like one was a dude, and the other was like a girl, I remember. I didn't really go talk to them or anything. I was outside.
And you said you had interactions with Miss Blondie These interactions include.
So I saw her, and I always seen her around. And I told her her car was hot, she was hot, and I liked her hair. And then we was just chatting it up and making fun of people. Talked about people are poor, stuff like that. The usual.
And did the interaction conclude here?
So with some like weird people around, and she was just like, "I'm gonna take off. If you want to come, hang can." And I took my car because I had a park there, and we just left there and went and hung down by what's it called, the Vespucci, like by the pier.
I see. And what did you do by the pier?
Well, I don't want to incriminate myself, but I was hanging out down there and selling weed, and we was just talking and chatting, making fun of people. Was outfits.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Bird. One moment to confer. Anything?
I can't get in trouble for that, can I?
All right, Miss Bird, we appreciate you. No further questions for this witness, Your Honor. So quiet, Your Honor. So quiet.
Cross-examination.
How you doing? You okay?
Hi.
Yeah, you can't be over here, Johnny.
Oh, sorry.
Hello, Jessica.
You know how
Hello.
Van Doris is going to feel about
I
that,
got
but
outfit.
Thanks. Okay.
I can try to cover it in closing.
So when did you first meet Blondie?
I'm going to object to scope. Actually, never mind. I withdraw that.
Like ever?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to object to scope.
Stay. How's this in scope?
I mean, she did say that she saw her at the DMV. I'm wondering if it was the first time she ever met her.
There is a way. The scope hasn't been opened yet, so I'm gonna sustain it. But there is a way you could.
And just for clarification for Ms. Sadi, PDM, not DMV.
Oh, okay.
Who said that?
That's it.
Okay, and so had you ever met Blondie prior to seeing her at PDM?
Yeah, I've met, I've seen or met Blondie like once or twice before.
And have you met with her after seeing her at PDM?
The PDM, we hung up that time.
Are you on the microphone?
Am I?
Quiet.
Hold on, let me check.
It's not looking great.
Yeah, I am.
All right. Speak up.
All right. Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Did you meet with her anytime after seeing her at PDM?
Keep your
The
answers
next
short.
time, I never we weren't really friends at the time. Just
Not
met
like
once
this.
or twice. The next time I really met her, and then we kind of hit it off, was in here, the courtroom. There was a trial going on with some smelly old dude who like was trying to buy a car with like Werther's Originals and fucking nickels or something.
Okay. And when were you made aware you were going to be a witness for this case?
I'm going to object to scope here.
That's not within scope. Sustain.
Okay, Your Honor, I have no further question.
All right. Redirect.
No redirect, Your Honor. Nope.
All right. Miss Bird, you may step down.
Your Honor,
Wait, stay on the microphone.
we timidly and tentatively call Miss Blondie Lee to the stand.
All right. Miss Lee, do you understand your Article 5 rights against self-incrimination?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you understand that should you choose to reaffirm that right, any testimony that you give will be stricken from the record.
Yes, Your Honor. Yeah. Fuck. Fuck.
I'm your #1 fan.
That's your Eastern.
Close.
All right, raise your hand. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury. So help you. Welcome, Saber.
Thank you.
All right, defense your witness.
Miss Blondie,
Hello.
yes or no? Did you pick up Dr. Redwood in your taxi on the day in question?
Yes.
And yes or no? Did you give him a taxi ride?
Yes.
Where did you give him a taxi ride to?
PDM.
And this is where you dropped him off?
Yes.
Was there anyone there to witness this?
Yeah, Jessica.
And besides Jessica, was there anyone else around?
There was like some people inside that might have seen ya.
And what did you and Miss Bird do from there?
Just talk shit about people, and then I really wanted to like leave the area because there were like some creepy guys watching me. So I like asked her if she wanted to come. She did. So we like went to the pier and stuff and hung out.
And just to clarify for the record, you had no further interaction with Dr. Redwood after dropping him off at PDM?
No.
You did not accompany Dr. Redwood to the gun store next to PDM in which he was found?
No, I did not.
Thank you. Hold on, one moment to confer. No further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
State Cross.
Hi, Blondie. How are you today?
Hello, I'm good.
So, what did you do after you went to PDM?
I dropped the doctor off and then talked to my friend Jessica.
And I know you said that you just said you had never went to ammunition. However,
I'm going to object to misstatement of testimony.
What I have on the record is you had no further interaction with Dr. Redwood after dropping off at PDM. Did not accompany Redwood to the gun store next to PDM in which he was found. We have nothing on the record saying that Blondie Lee had never went to ammunition. So I guess, prosecutor, you can rephrase.
okay. So you said you didn't go to the ammunition with the deceased, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So what exactly did you do with Jessica after after dropping him off at PDM?
We went to the pier and just kind of like hung out and talked shit about people. And she was, sorry Jessica, but she was selling weed to people, and I was just hanging out.
And did you do anything after that, or?
I'm going to object to scope.
I'm gonna overrule. I believe it's been
Alright.
opened enough. And did you do anything after that?
No, not really.
So you and Jessica just hung out at the pier, and that was all you did? Didn't talk about anything interesting or exciting?
Objection to scope.
Rebuttal.
Well, she was at the pier with Jessica. I'm just asking if she spoke about anything interesting or exciting.
Counter, Your Honor.
Sure.
What they discussed was never called into question in my original questioning.
Whilst that may be the case, it's been opened up during during cross-examination.
If I may, in what way, Your Honor?
They testified as to 1 second. Did you do anything after that? I mean, yeah, basically any events at the, what's it called? Pier, that's been opened up and can be
Including what
asked
was
to the witness.
discussed, Your Honor?
I'm gonna say yes.
Your Honor.
Overruled.
Yeah, did you discuss any kind of interesting or exciting things while you were at the pier with Jessica?
Yeah, I don't like keep transcripts of like every conversation I have with people, but we just mainly just talk shit about people like we always do.
Okay. And is there any reason why you didn't remember any of this when you went into interrogation?
Okay, objection scope.
That I agree with. Sustained. And plus, I'm gonna say, hey, me no dumb, me will watch interrogation and read transcript and see the differences, if any, between answers on stand and answers during interrogation. Smile.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have no further questions.
All right, redirect.
Absolutely not, Your Honor.
Alrighty. Miss Lee, you may step down.
Okay.
You're not free to go because you're the defendant. Stay here.
Oh, right, okay, fine, whatever. Oh, puts microphone back.
Good.
Great fucking job, Blondie.
Thank you.
All right, next.
Your Honor, we have no further witnesses here today.
You marked Wilson for recall for nothing.
That's right, we did.
Oh my God, grumble sounds. Wilson might have went. No, she definitely wasn't gonna go somewhere else.
I could have left court.
Could have left court, but where you going to?
No, I was not.
Yeah, we all know. We all know you fucking weren't. All right. You said you wanted to highlight in closing.
Yes,
You
Your
have any time
Honor.
to prepare a closing.
I'm ready when the state is.
Stay. How much time do you need? No, as in, how much time do you need for closing?
About maybe 5 to 10 minutes.
You get up until 25 past. That's 6 minutes.
Thank you.
All right. Course in recess.
Sorry.
I mean, goddamn, that questioning went as fucking good as it could go, huh?
Yeah.
Pretty good, pretty smooth.
Is
Mr.
this-
DuPont.
Is this case? Is this case?
Yeah.
This woman picked a guy up, and then bought a knife.
Maybe.
That's lit.
What was
That's
that? What was that
literally
up there?
I-
I was trying to get over the wall.
What? Everyone said they good.
That was unsuccessful.
That wasn't. You didn't do good.
Everyone's telling me I did.
Did you hire that lawyer?
Yeah.
Like you actively sought out that lawyer?
Yeah.
That is
Blondie was not.
a bad decision, and I am now looking at you in a different light. I don't think I can be your number one fan anymore.
No, don't do this to me.
I don't think I can be your number one fan
I
anymore.
can't take this emotional roller coaster stuff. What do you do? Why do you keep doing this to me?
That's sick.
Listen, I'm not doing anything to you. You're doing this to yourself.
No.
Okay.
You need to stop making poor decisions, and then I'll go back to being your number one fan.
The kidney, allegedly. What
God
else
damn it.
is it that
Just-
you-
just-
But until then,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't support you.
Well, she didn't fucking do it.
Okay, hang up goddamn phone now.
Goodbye, Blondie.
She doesn't.
Hang up.
She's not. She's a stab.
Can you-
She's not a slight.
Can you hang up, please,
Hang up.
Blondie?
Hang up.
Blondie, can you? We're in court. Can you please?
You hang up. No, you
Hang
hang
up.
up.
Can't even prove that shit. Blondie's got big,
For that.
big shoes.
Covered that. He died due to the injuries he sustained. If we sit there arguing slicing v cutting, it's
Mackenzie.
only gonna sound bad.
I'm not telling
Hey.
you size and big. I'm just saying.
just
I
I'm going
managed to
through the
make it.
notes in my head.
Thank
you know?
ya.
This is
Yeah,
anything I want
plus-
to add to the closing.
Cooked. So
Really, I'm just gonna hammer the fuck
Yeah.
out of this. She was well behaved on bail, and therefore
I've
don't
maybe had,
fucking kill her.
like,
She's clearly
5
got the
hours sleep
capacity to
since
be
Thursday.
Kill
a good
her.
girl.
Yeah. I've even paid
let
off
me work
all
on
my
that right
fines.
now.
I have no fines now.
She's completely
Hell
satisfied with the
yeah.
conditions of her bail.
Blondie, what do we do?
I want to die.
I want you to die either. I don't want to fuck around
you
and
know-
get you to get killed.
I might have to just.
You're not gonna die.
No, they said if I
Trying to
try to
kill her.
run, they're gonna kill me. They're gonna give me death penalty if I try to run.
Wait, they're
Kill
gonna
her.
give you the
Do
death
not-
penalty?
She needs to stay here and be good and get her verdict and deal with whatever it is. They,
They,
say
they
we're putting
seriously
you.
said they seriously said they're gonna give her the death penalty.
If they're
if
giving
you
her the
run?
yes, if they're giving her the death penalty, and I really got to cook on this closing, so just listen and so I can get back to this. There will be a sentencing hearing, okay? If they were actually considering it, at that point we could talk about shit like this. But right now, she needs to be a good girl.
Okay. All right.
That's fucking wild.
So like, stick a pin in it.
Yeah.
Aye.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I would.
I'm gonna burn this whole fucking city to the ground.
It's okay. We'll make our big statement in another way.
After the week she's had,
This is bullshit.
after the
I
week
know.
you've had, you do not deserve
Bullshit.
this.
We'll still find a way to use it. It's a good
How
thing.
fucking archaic? How archaic
You did a good job.
is it to still have the death
You
penalty?
did good.
You did great.
You did good.
Kill this whole. I'm gonna kill.
How many
room.
people have been sent? How many people have been sentenced to death before?
2.
Yeah.
Do.
And they Highlanded the first one and chopped his
Yeah,
head
you
off.
not working.
Wait,
Oh my God.
for real?
Yeah.
Who will
I
still
thought
say
I'd get to
exactly?
see
I
it.
might need to, that might be my that might be the
Well,
cause
no
that I'm fighting
discussing
for.
this right now. She's innocent, so she's gonna be fine.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean,
Yeah, totally.
I've seen a
Right.
convicted innocent.
I'm just
people.
talking about in general. It's archaic as fuck to have the death penalty still. Like,
Well, yeah.
and especially to cut people's heads off.
Yeah, no, that's kind of
Yeah,
what,
that's
what,
fucked up. Yeah, that's fucked up.
yeah.
That's
what,
like
what is
that
this fucking Game of Thrones?
Aye, where the
Yeah, it's like the
They're
fucking
gonna
game.
stalk her.
Harvey, have you not heard about the rough week?
They're gonna
Fuck.
stalk her.
I'm laughing because it's unreal. I mean, Karen will know as well as me.
It's not going to happen.
No,
I'll deal with this.
I'm not saying it's going to happen, Kara, but I'm saying the fact that they even have the death penalty in this state is archaic and fucking wrong.
Aye, well,
Inhumane.
as long as it doesn't happen to one of us, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, this ain't Texas. I can't do
Yeah.
They can chop someone else's head off.
At least Harvey has his bar.
I'm gonna chop
Yeah.
everyone's head off.
Chop the heat off.
I'm gonna roll.
Hang on, let me. Hey, we're back in session. Closings.
Oh shit.
Yeah, ready?
Cousins.
Yes,
Yes, Your Honor.
Get him, Duplo.
All right. State, you're up.
Thank you, Your Honor. First, I'd like to highlight evidence. We would ask that you make sure to review report 23528, Blondie Lee Photos for Trial. In this report, we have placed all crucial photo evidence showing posts on Twinsta where Blondie says she likes stabbing people, pictures with her pink cars. We've also placed text between Blondie and Jessica, with Blondie talking about killing that doctor, and if he was that good a doctor, he could have saved himself. Also, we have pointed out specific texts between Blondie and Jessica, stating just a few days prior to trial, they didn't know why Jessica was placed as a witness, that they would find out when they spoke with Franklin, Blondie's attorney. There are also phone calls shown there that Blondie received from Pete Parkinson just prior to his attack and removal of a kidney, the first person in the city who lost their kidney. The phone calls prior to Blondie picking up Dr. Redwood are there, and in the bank statement of Blondie's, there it shows that she purchased an item for $50 at the time of Dr. Redwood's death. Knives are $50 plus the $6 for tax at any ammunition. Also, we have the photos for trial image photo 8, taught to remove kidneys, where she states that her mother taught her how to do this, Blondie's mother. And I'll do my closing now.
Jeez.
So today, defense would have you believe that Blondie wasn't at the scene of the crime. They have brought forward a witness in Jessica Bird, who in her own text messages admits she doesn't know anything about this whole situation and runs to the MDW to see what kind of charges Blondie has. And just this past week stated she and Blondie didn't understand why she was being called as a witness by defense. As for timing, all of this is in evidence. The call was made at 1:15 for a taxi. Then they went to an ammunition for who knows what reason, and the statement made by EMS during the deposition states that the call for an injured person came within 5 to 15 minutes after Dr. Redwood left. In this time, Blondie would have driven to ammunition, used the knife to kill Dr. Redwood, and then purchased a new knife, which was purchased just 14 minutes after the phone call at 1:29 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All noted in evidence. We would also like to point out that all the victims, but Robin Steele, the cop, were picked up by a taxi. We have put forth motive. Blondie Lee has a desire to stabby people and take their kidneys and sell on the black market if she can, and was taught by her mother how to do this. Opportunity. Had picked up Dr. Redwood from the hospital for a taxi ride within 15 minutes of the murder. Means. Blondie, just minutes prior to the call for injured person, purchased a knife at the ammunition. Dr. Redwood was found at ammunition. Dr. Redwood, Ollie O'Farrell, Pete Parkinson, Robin Steele.
There you go.
Rose Thatcher, all attacked and had a kidney removed. Some got their kidney back. Some didn't survive to get their kidney back. Now, I would like to take you on a ride. It's not a fun ride. Imagine you are standing at the hospital with your friends. You're hungry and ask others if they need food and then call for a taxi.
Yeah,
Miss Lee comes to pick you up in her pretty pink Issy. You say, see you all later, but you don't realize that you will never see your friends or family or anyone again. You're taken on a ride for a reason only Miss Lee knows, to an ammunition. And at that point, the taxi driver, Miss Lee, takes you into ammunition, stabs you, buys a knife, and pulls out your kidney. You're down on the ground and she places her foot on your neck while you're writhing in pain as she cuts out the kidney.
That's not when that happened.
She purchases a new clean knife and then leaves, and you slowly begin to black out from the pain and the blood loss. Your world goes black. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Dr. Redwood is no longer. What monster could do this to not one person, but 5 different people? One of those never got the justice they deserved. Mr. Parkinson. He survived. Unfortunately, he has left the city, and I wouldn't blame him. He gave the police the phone number he called for a taxi ride and said it was the person that he called that did this to him. Surprise, the phone number belonged to Miss Lee, and we have the proof that he did indeed call her for a taxi through phone subpoenas and evidence. Ali O'Farrell, another victim. He was at Up and Adam, just needed a taxi, but then changed his mind, at which point Miss Lee asked if he was rich, and then she went up to Up and Adam and tried to force him to marry her and asked him if he was rich again. He tries to tell her he's not rich. So she, at this point, says that his organs must be expensive, and she orders him into the taxi with a knife. He tries to defend himself, but instead Miss Lee runs at him and stabs at him and harvests his kidney. Such savagery. The charge was attempted murder, in which the judge said, and I quote, a more fitting charge would have been mayhem minor due to the removal of an organ. She was found guilty. And then we have Robin Steele. This poor woman, now I just need to remind everyone that these people had no pain meds, nothing to subsidize the pain that they were being put through. Robin Steele was found with incisions in her torso and kidney removed, and Miss Lee was charged with mayhem minor and multiple other charges. She was found guilty. And now for Rose Thatcher. This poor woman's dead. She had had her kidney removed by Miss Lee. She was in the ER, and Miss Lee arrived at the ER with kidney in hand. The older woman tried to speak, but couldn't speak. Imagine the fear that Miss Thatcher had when she saw Miss Lee after being mangled by her. When Miss Thatcher saw Miss Lee, she ran after her and attempted to stab her multiple times. After a struggle, Miss Rose Thatcher was pronounced dead, and a guilty verdict of mayhem minor and unauthorized practice of medicine was placed upon Miss Blondie Lee. Today, we are most interested in the court finding Blondie Lee guilty of the murder of a government employee, Dr. Redwood, and to remember the means in the way it was done. Torture. It couldn't be any less than torture to die slowly, having your kidney removed in such fashion. Along with the combined other mayhem minors, we ask this court to also find her guilty of mayhem major.
This doesn't look great.
This DA clearly doesn't.
Boo!
Cannot
You
use
said.
prior history
Who
to
said
determine
that?
guilt on a case.
Okay, no, if you're acting up now, you're gonna boo, but you're gonna be too much of a pussy to not say who it is and not admit to it.
Damn.
Stand up.
There's the guy in the wheelchair. I don't think he can stand.
Yeah, that was Perry.
Harry?
Clearly wasn't me.
Go ahead, stand up, Perry.
Fuck you.
I remember that.
You finish her up.
Before I begin, I would like to thank the state for their speculative, hyperbolic, and extremely imaginative closing, which was rife with conjecture and sprinkles of double jeopardy. Your Honor, esteemed members of this court, throughout this trial, we have heard the prosecution make bold, reaching claims.
Don't. It's RP.
But they
I
have
love
failed
it.
to actually substantiate them with concrete material evidence. What they have presented is a narrative which has been built upon Blondie Lee's past, not on present facts. The lack of DNA evidence, the absence of eyewitnesses, the missing murder weapon, all of these gaps in the prosecution's case create a significant shadow of a doubt that cannot be ignored or overlooked. Blondie Lee's social media posts may be shocking. Her text messages may seem devious and unempathetic, but they are not a confession, and they do not prove beyond a reasonable doubt that she committed this murder. As well, my client makes many such texts and many such Twinsta posts, almost ritually, and no text or Twinsta can be clearly established as having to do with any particular instance. As well, we the defense have shown that Blondie Lee dropped Dr. Redwood off at a location near the crime scene, but not at the scene itself. What happened after that drop-off is unknown by us and especially the prosecution. And the prosecution cannot say for a certainty that Blondie was involved with what transpired to Dr. Redwood. Finally, the report indicating that Blondie has been framed before cannot be dismissed. The window for the framing in this instance may be slim, but it exists. And that possibility alone should make you question the certainty with which the prosecution presents its case, and the possibilities, which are numerous. And in regards to my client's confusion of why I might call Jessica as a witness, or Jessica's confusion about the charges in which Blondie receives, neither Jessica nor Blondie are legal experts and cannot be expected to understand the usefulness of something like an alibi. Furthermore, the monetary amount which the prosecution seeks cannot be justified in the instance of this incident. Panuk Agugnux, who currently stands accused of weapons trafficking as well as drug trafficking on the docket, two financially significant crimes, is looking at only $35,000 in fines, almost 65% less than what Blondie is receiving today. There is no way that the state can justify charging my client $100,000, an amount which would financially ruin any citizen of this great city. Charging my client an amount of this magnitude is nothing short of cruel and unusual, and is a clear attempt to pad their deeply indebted pockets. Citizens of this great city, in our legal system, we should not convict based on assumptions of characters, feelings, or hunches. We should convict based on evidence. Hard, cold evidence. Not soft, lukewarm, and speculative guesses. In this case, we the defense feel the evidence presented, or the lack of, by prosecution is wholly insufficient to convict Blondie Lee. We compel the courts to recognize these facts and find my client Blondie Lee not guilty of the charge of murder as well as major mayhem. And in closing, my client Blondie Lee complied to completion with the extremely strict conditions of her bail. She showed that she is more than capable of following the rule of law, even in the most intense of terms. The death penalty should only be something used for those who are beyond reason, beyond help, beyond change. And my client here today has shown that she is capable of all three of these qualifiers simply by being present to face her accusers. We thank the courts and its participants for their time and due consideration in these matters. May God bless America. Praise be to Hobbit Trash. Amen.
Yeah, that's the man right there. That's the man.
Alright, now. That's the winner.
Alright, we're gonna place this call in recess while I deliberate. I'ma be real, there is a lot of evidence that has been entered on both sides. There are exhibits entered by the defense, exhibits entered by the state. There's a bunch of subpoenas, a bunch of photos, a bunch of reports. It's going to take a while. I'm gonna do the same thing that I did for the other trial on, I don't know how long ago it was, Tuesday. You can either stay and wait while I sift through this evidence, or you can go, you can live your life, and I will post a state announcement 15 to 20 minutes before the verdict's reading. Okay? I don't want to just have you all locked up here, have you all here waiting for the minute that I do exit the chambers and give my verdict. All right. Until then, this court is placed in recess. If you do want to stay, you can. And for the people who do stay, corrections, what is it? SAS officer. Mackenzie's in charge. Mackenzie, you're in charge. All right. Finds
Do you
gavel.
need any food?
Alright, let's go.
Free
Why is there a
Blondie.
moped?
Hell yeah.
I got it back.
Get the moped out of here.
Get this out right now.
Where's it written? Where's it written? Blondie, just so you know, no matter what, I'm proud of you. Thank you for staying out of trouble. Thank you for paying Max back. I cannot, you blew my mind being able to stay out of jail on bail.
Yeah, it was really hard.
I know.
Actually,
and
wait, that's what I need to talk to you about. Come here.
Wow.
Yeah, come here. You and your client. And I guess the prosecutor can come here too, so we're not talking about the case. Well, Blondie, good girl, and made it to trial and didn't violate bail conditions as far as I'm aware, correct? Stay. Sadie?
Not that I know of.
Alright.
Yeah.
How did you pay for your bail conditions?
I did what?
just gave her 4K and then she paid the rest with her property on lien, I believe.
Yeah.
Did she break her bail at any time?
Take any cash from you, Blondie?
Happened just before the trial.
No cash, just out of the bank.
Perfect.
Did she get arrested or anything? Nothing?
No.
Okay.
Oh, it was seized from your bank account.
Yeah, see.
I guess I can I guess I'm just gonna seize it from our account back to yours. Actually, can I just do this? Wait, what's your state ID?
3817.
Don't get it wrong.
I never get my state ID wrong.
It would be funny if you get it wrong and you lose your bail bond, because I'm not refunding you if you got it wrong.
No.
3817. All right.
Yeah.
Congrats, you're getting your money back.
Oh my god, thank you. Thank you.
$12,000 richer. Congrats.
Oh my god.
Alright, I guess you can all step back. Alright, state you ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense?
Ready, Your Honor.
Alright, court is back in session for the state v. Blondie Lee. I can't even get the docket number because I have so many MDW tabs open because there is so much evidence that I had to look.
Or 21598, Your Honor.
That one, there we go. We're gonna start with the Mayhem Major. Mayhem Major is defined no person with the intent to cause cruel or extreme pain and suffering for the purpose of revenge, extortion, persuasion, or for any sadistic purpose shall maim and inflict great bodily injury on another person. Such intent and purposes may include prolonged conduct over the course of 3 or more days, serial conduct on 3 or more occasions against the same person, or wanton conduct against 3 or more persons. It's very clear that in this case,
Jesus Christ,
we're looking at the third clause being wanton conduct against 3 or more persons. The state are alleging 5 separate instances of cruel or extreme pain against five people for Mayhem Major. We'll go through each of them one at a time. We're going to start with January 6th, P. Parkinson. Basically, TLDR, P. Parkinson called Blondie Lee for a taxi cab. Then everything went black. He woke up in the hospital. He woke up with open stitching on his stomach after surgery, and the doctor told Pete Parkinson that he had to remove his right kidney. Number 2, Ollie O'Farrell. This was February 12th. This was a bench trial, actually. Ollie O'Farrell was at the Upper Naddam. He needed a taxi. Gave a call to someone who was listed as crazy on the directory. I don't know why he did that. Called her, changed her mind, told her didn't need a taxi. This is when she asked him if he was rich. She came down to the Upper Naddam, tried to force marry Ollie O'Farrell, at which point Ollie told her he wasn't rich. She then told him that his organs must be expensive, at which point she ordered Ollie O'Farrell into the taxi at knife point. Ollie started walking in front of her. She ran to the front of the taxi, at which point Ollie pulled his knife to try and defend himself. Blondie ran back towards him, stabbed him, and harvested his organ. That statement was corroborated by other witnesses on scene. Blondie Lee took it to bench trial, was found guilty of attempted murder, was found guilty of unauthorized practice of medicine. There were notes on the bench findings by the late Honorable Justice Archibald Lambda, where Mayhem Minor may have been a better fit. Did they charge Mayhem Minor? No. But does it count as an instance? We'll note it down for now. Third instance, Robin's kidney was stolen. This is now Sergeant Robin Steele. February 13th. Same incident. Blondie Lee stabs Robin Steele's kidney. Pleads guilty to Mayhem Minor. Pleads guilty to unauthorized practice of medicine. Then we skip to May 17th. Rose Thatcher. Her kidney got stolen. She got stabbed, kidney got stolen by Blondie Lee. Blondie Lee pled guilty to Mayhem Minor, pled guilty to unauthorized practice of medicine. And then we have instance number 5, which is the murder of Nasherba Redwood. Nasherba Redwood was found inside the ammunition, bleeding out, was stabbed. His kidney was missing. His body was poorly stitched together. He had multiple cuts and bruises, multiple bloody footprints going away from the body outside from the shooting range, according to the witness being Penelope Gaspar. So we have 5 instances, 2 of which Blondie Lee has... we have 5 instances. All of them have the same MO, modus operandi. Victim gets stabbed, harvest organ. Kidney gets harvest. For the purposes of Mayhem Major, are we considering, I don't know, stabbing someone, cutting their body open, removing their kidney, stitching their body up? Are we counting that towards mayhem? Absolutely. It is absolutely cruel. It is absolutely extreme pain. It is absolutely sadistic in nature. We have 5 instances, 2 of which the defendant has already pled guilty. The third instance that we can attribute is the attempted murder of Ollie O'Farrell, where Mayhem Minor could have fit. The state failed to charge Ollie O'Farrell with Mayhem Minor at the time. The Ollie O'Farrell incident can be counted as a third instance for the Mayhem Major. Without even looking at the Pete Parkinson, without even looking at the Nasherba Redwood, we have 3 instances of of wanton conduct against 3 or more persons using the same modus operandi with the intent to cause cruel and extreme pain and suffering for a sadistic purpose. Blondie Lee, you are found guilty of Mayhem Major.
Oh my god.
Fucked.
Ooh. Oh my god.
And now we go to the other charge. Murder of a government employee. No person shall unlawfully and intentionally kill any government employee with malice aforethought, with or without premeditation. A determination as to whether the homicide is classified as murder in the 1st or 2nd degree shall be made solely by the judiciary of the state of San Andreas should the matter proceed to trial. That's me. The murder that occurred, the incident, the homicide of Nasherba Redwood, all occurs within a 15-minute timeline. 1:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time is the starting time, whatever the fuck. EMT Penelope Gaspar was at Mount Zona Hospital talking to Dr. Neshoba Redwood. Dr. Redwood asked EMT Gaspar if they needed food. Dr. Redwood then called for a taxi. Dr. Neshoba ends up calling Blondie Lee for the taxi ride. That is uncontested. Uncontested that Redwood contacted and called Blondie Lee for a taxi ride. It is in evidence. I can get the photo now. There is a phone call, Neshoba Redwood to Blondie Lee. It was testified to by Blondie Lee that this was a taxi ride. She testified and she admitted to it. Blondie Lee picks up Dr. Redwood from Mount Zona in a pink and color Ritzy. Uncontested. This is where we get into the... This is where we got to look at all of the evidence, all of the testimony offered, because now we get into what one side says, what the evidence says, what testimony was offered, what the physical evidence was found, what records are found in the phone and bank records. So let's delve into that. Blondie Lee, Jessica Bird, they both claimed that Blondie dropped off Dr. Redwood EDM. Dr. Redwood went on his merry way, and then Bird and Lee have a conversation where Bird saw Blondie, saw her, told her that her car was hot, that she was hot, that she lied to her. They were both making fun of people who were poor. The usual, apparently. That was testified to by Bird, testified to by Blondie Lee. Apparently, they both then went to the Vespucci Pier, where Jessica Bird was selling weed and they were just hanging out at the Vespucci Pier. And apparently, all they did was talk shit about people. The problem that we have is there was no testimony offered or no testimony about Blondie Lee going to an ammunition, for example. Did Blondie Lee go to an ammunition? Absolutely. Her phone records were, her bank records were subpoenaed, and there's a transaction at 1:29 p.m. Eastern for $56 at an ammunition. The state, there we go. The state say that it's for a knife. I mean, even ignoring that it could have been, I don't know, any other melee weapon that you can get from the ammunition. Could have been a hatchet, could have been a golf club, could have been a bunch of melee weapons from the ammunition. Doesn't matter. At 1:29 Eastern, Blondie Lee was definitely at an ammunition and purchased something from ammunition. Oh my god. And purchased something from ammunition for $56. $50 plus $6 tax. That goes completely against anything that Jessica Bird and Blondie Lee testified to, so yeah. That testimony, I'm gonna weigh that accordingly. You interrupt me during the verdict again, you're going to jail. Let's go back to the scene. EMT Gaspar finds the Vic, being Dr. Redwood, inside the ammunition. Looking at the report, yeah, the defense is right in that there is no physical evidence connecting Blondie Lee to the murder scene. In fact, there was no documentation of the murder scene at all. Completed by the PD, completed by the state. Gaspar offers a statement saying that the body was at the ammunition. There's no evidence of anybody going to the same ammunition and documenting what was there. Gaspar's statement and testimony says that there were bloody footprints going away from the body outside from the shooting range. Would have been really great for somebody from the PD side to document that. That didn't happen. So yeah, the defense is right. There's no physical evidence connecting Blondie Lee to the murder scene. However, her bank records absolutely place Blondie Lee at the murder scene. She made a purchase at the ammunition within the timeline of Neshoba Redwood being stabbed, being cut open, kidney being removed, and being stitched back up. The manner of death, the cause of death, the injuries sustained to the victim, the kidney being harvested, all of this is consistent and it fits with the modus operandi of Blondie Lee. Now, sure, there wasn't a murder weapon that was found. Sure, there was no physical evidence tying Blondie Lee to the scene. But the combination of the MO of the same, we have five instances of the same thing happening, of victims being stabbed, cut open, kidneys harvested, stitched back up. Just so happened that this time Dr. Redwood died. Blondie Lee, you are guilty of murder of a government employee.
Oh my God.
The state's recommendation was 20 years incarceration with 15 years parole and a $100,000 fine. This court sentences Blondie Lee to 20 years incarceration, 15 years of parole, and a $50,000 fine.
Hey, there
Blondie
we
Lee
go.
will have
Cut
90
it in
days
half.
from today to pay the $50,000 fine. Upon release from Bolingbroke Penitentiary, Blondie Lee will be placed on advanced felony A bail conditions, the same bail conditions that were set to her when she was released on bail by the Honorable Judge Parker Huang. That is the order of this court.
Sorry.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You tried. I'm gonna go talk to the judge.
Can you
'cause I
repeat
feel like she missed
the
something.
years again?
Fuck out of that. That is
All right, Blondie.
15.
On your back for me.
We're gonna be taking her down to the cell to stage for
Bad
transport.
bitch crab.
All right, I'll let you walk, but that way.